Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch is a unicorn, a personal hero of mine. And for a long time, my grail, I gave up because I thought I'd never find one. But back in 2015, DeBethune sponsored something called the DeBethune Princely Polo Cup out of Liechtenstein. Now, don't laugh. The premise of this watch, a 10-piece limited edition, was that you would require a special high-impact, indelible, shock-resistant watch to play polo, which is a surprisingly violent and high-impact sport. And so many measures were included. This watch includes elements of the DB28 Digitale, the DBD, the DB Digitale model, the DB27 Titan Hawk V1. All of it comes together in a watch that is made of hardened steel. Yes, a steel DeBethune. About 1,200 Vickers hardened steel, and then over that, 5,000 Vickers hard black diamond-like carbon. Much like Zinn hard black over Zinn Tegament steel, you have an ultra-hard substrate, and then the DLC on top so that the underlying material is resistant enough that if it's hit, it won't collapse under the hard black coating, causing the hard black to fracture. As a result here, even if smashed by polo mallets, which leave a mark, this material will show no wear. And if it can withstand that, any of the scratches, scuffs, or insults of daily living should make no impression on this watch. And yes, steel with DLC. Steel DeBethune is out there, but they almost make subscription series Journe tourbillons seem plentiful. Lots to love about this watch, starting with the size. It's smaller than you might think, 43 in diameter, 13 millimeters thick. The lugs have a relatively short scope of adjustment. These are the spring-loaded, patented, ergonomic floating lugs, but at full extension, they're about 50 millimeters. At full compression, about 48, and then there's a 26 millimeter spacing in between the lugs. So these lugs are roughly what DeBethune would describe as the short lugs if they were spec'd on a DB28. You can see on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, that the watch wears just fine. Now, it's flat enough that it will fit under a cuff, though it's so stark and dramatic in presence, you probably don't want to make it disappear. I think this would fit just fine on a wrist of 14 centimeters circumference. Mine is 16. I've got a little bit of clearance on each side. Here's your over-the-top shot, which always sort of exaggerates the width of the watch. Quick clarification about this watch, because again, if you don't know whether they made a prototype plus 2 or 3, or the entire 10-piece run, the question is always, is it blackened zirconium like most blackened DeBethune watches, or is it blackened steel as the initial press release has claimed? I can tell you, holding it in my hand, it's clearly steel. Blackened zirconium would have been used on other blackened DeBethune watches, just about all of them. This has a different sheen and tone to it, and it has a much weightier feel in the hand. So this is a true steel DeBethune, no doubts whatsoever. And as for whether they made 10, I can clarify that this is a serial number. This unit is a serial number between 5 and 10, leading me to believe that the entire 10-piece run was constructed. I think there may have also been a prototype. The strap is a DeBethune factory piece, 26 millimeter spacing. You can see textile on the top, black, stitched, monotone stitch, folded edge, calfskin on the bottom, Jean Rousseau strap. They are the OEM manufacturer of straps for well, both Journe and DeBethune. So this is a factory strap, even though it's not DeBethune branded. And then you can see we've got a buckle that's designed to echo the design of the lugs. Most of the buckles at DeBethune do echo the design of the watch. They don't have a stock buckle for all their watches. And you can see this one a little bit unusual in that it's not DeBethune branded on its underside. That's a bit of an exception. Taking a look, you can see the little ogival or torpedo tip lugs, a long-time styling feature of DeBethune watches dating back to the original DB1 chronograph of 2002. These are the spring-loaded, patented ergonomic floating lugs. It's not a highly water-resistant watch, even though it's highly shock-resistant and impact-resistant. It does have a screw-down crown, but primarily to prevent the crown from interacting with the lug. See what I'm saying? It is a 30-meter water-resistant, unbranded crown, as is DeBethune tradition. Monoblock case. You can see there's no separate bezel. The case and the bezel are all one piece for a seamless aesthetic. And then we have the little gold hand-engraved image of the Polo mallets with the white gold Polo ball, and then fired blue titanium DeBethune International Polo watch, and it's definitely that. So you could see that very little space is given to the sapphires, and that both of them, for the jumping hour and the scrolling minutes, are quite recessed to protect them from impact. With the case, a 5,000 Vickers coating over a 1,200 Vickers steel substrate, it is effectively immune to any conventional scratching, scuffing, or even denting as they affect most watches on impact. It is very, very resilient. Now we'll take a quick look at how the jumping hour complication works. It's very similar in that regard to the DB28 Digitale. It's less like the earlier DBD in that here we have a large and prominent scrolling minute display, and I love the red 00. It is an incredibly crisp changeover, and it's a lot of fun to play with it. A lot of times your friends won't understand what the watch thing is all about, but when you show them a jump hour, suddenly their eyes light up and they can relate to it. Not sure why that is, but I think it's the dynamism and the gee whiz factor. Now, something else that needs to be noted is that there are two generations of DB27. And that the DB27 in its original iteration was an extended power reserve 6 days. The 27 post-2018 was a 60-hour power reserve. This, because of the presence of the jump hour, is a 5-day power reserve. It uses the twin barrel deluxe movement, the more advanced DB27 movement featured on the first generation watch. Also, if you're familiar with the DB28 Digitale, you know that it's a manual winding watch. So the fact that this does have the automatic winding system and the DB28 Digitale display system makes it completely unique. It's a 4 Hz beat rate, it's a 30 millimeter movement, it's large, it fills this case back, it's got the twin self-adjusting barrels, it's got the triple parachute shock protection system that the second generation DB27 does not have. It has the patented hairspring curve that breathes concentrically like an overcoil but is flat and shock resistant like a flat hairspring. It has the patented balance wheel. And all of these things combining, meaning it is a full fat DeBethune with all of the company's engineering innovations in a package you will never see again. I've only ever seen one of these, and this may be the only one I ever encounter. Automatic 5-day power reserve, jump hour, shock-resistant movement with a shock-protected winding rotor system as well. Indelible case, recessed displays, and an absolutely unique aesthetic unlike any other DeBethune watch. It is singular. Own my dream. I've got my DBD. I feel satisfied. I feel like in a world where this exists, I can be happy to live in a world where this exists, owning my DBD, but I will always look sideways and consider the possibility that someday my DeBethune collection may become a fleet. And if it ever does, this will be the second entry. Live my dream. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.